Every day feels like a relentless race, with life's demands piling up, suffocating us. We grasp for more things, more distractions, yet find ourselves emptier than ever. What if letting go was the real key? There's a path where having less unlocks everything. Ready to find it? So let's start with our first one, which is the chains of accumulation. It starts subtly. An extra purchase here, an unnecessary commitment there. At first, it doesn't feel like much, but slowly, imperceptibly, these small additions pile up, layer upon layer, until you find yourself buried beneath the weight of things you didn't even realize you were carrying. Your home, your mind, your heart, cluttered. It's the constant scrolling through endless news feeds, the need to have the latest gadget, the fear of missing out that keeps you locked in a cycle of consumption. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking." The accumulation isn't just about objects. It's about emotions, distractions, and false desires. We gather more, hoping it will fill the void, but instead, it only widens it. The Stoic principle of apatheia, freedom from passion, teaches that true freedom comes not from acquiring, but from shedding. To live with less is to break these invisible chains, to free yourself from the prison of your own making. The first step is recognizing how much you've accumulated, how much of your life is dictated by things that do not matter. It's painful to acknowledge, but necessary. Only then can you begin the process of letting go, of stripping away the excess and finding the core of what truly matters. Second, facing the void of silence. Imagine a day without noise. No background music, no constant notifications, no conversations pulling you in 10 directions. Just silence. For many, this would feel unbearable, a void that demands to be filled. We're so used to the noise that silence has become a stranger, something to avoid at all costs. Yet, it's in silence that we hear the most powerful truths. Seneca wrote, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." The distractions, the constant buzz, they're all designed to keep us from facing the reality of our own existence. In that silence, though, is the space where clarity is born. Minimalism, at its core, is about creating space, physical, mental, emotional. It's not just about decluttering your home, but decluttering your life. When you clear the noise, what remains is the truth of who you are, stripped of the illusions society has layered upon you. This process is terrifying because it forces you to confront yourself, but it's also liberating. In that silence, you find power. You realize that you don't need the noise, the distractions, the clutter. All you need is within you. By embracing the void, you can finally begin to hear the voice of your true self. Third, the fear of letting go. There's a certain comfort in holding on to things. It feels safe, familiar, even if it's heavy. We hold on to old habits, past relationships, possessions, and outdated beliefs because letting go feels like losing something essential. But what if the real loss is in clinging to what no longer serves you? Epictetus reminds us, wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. We fear letting go because we've been taught that to lose is to fail. But this fear is a lie. The act of letting go is not a loss, it's a gain. It's the realization that everything you thought you needed was only holding you back. The relationship that drained you, the job that suffocated you, the possessions that cluttered your mind. Each of these things creates invisible chains. Stoicism teaches us that everything in life is temporary, and clinging to the transient only leads to suffering. When you let go, you're not losing. You're creating space. Space for growth, for new opportunities, for freedom. It's a frightening leap into the unknown, but it's in that leap that you rediscover your power. The fear doesn't vanish, but you learn to move through it, knowing that on the other side is a life of purpose and meaning. Fourth, the burden of expectations. The world tells you what you should want. Success, luxury, a life filled with accolades and applause. But the chase for external validation becomes a prison of its own, one where you're never truly satisfied because you're living by someone else's rules. It's exhausting, isn't it? The constant need to measure up, to fit a mold that was never meant for you. The Stoics were wise to this. They knew that true contentment comes not from what others think of us, but from living in alignment with our values. It is not events that disturb people, wrote Epictetus. It is their judgments concerning them. The expectations you carry aren't your own. They're the product of a society obsessed with more. More success, more approval, more accolades. But this pursuit leads only to emptiness. To live with less means shedding the weight of these expectations. It's a radical act of defiance to say, I am enough as I am. Minimalism is not about deprivation, but liberation. It's the decision to live life on your terms, not according to someone else's definition of success. This shift won't happen overnight. You will face resistance, internally and externally. But with each expectation you let go of, you will feel lighter. And in that lightness, you will find freedom. Fifth, embracing the unknown. We crave certainty. It gives us a sense of control, a belief that we can predict and plan for every outcome. But life, in all its chaos, is unpredictable. The more we try to hold on to control, the more it slips through our fingers like sand. This need for certainty leads to anxiety, fear of the unknown, and a paralyzing inability to move forward. If you are distressed by anything external, said Marcus Aurelius, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. The unknown is not the enemy. Our fear of it is. Minimalism and Stoicism teach us to embrace the uncertainty of life. When you strip away the excess, you're left with only the essentials. And the essential truth is this: you cannot control everything. The more you accept this, the more peaceful you become. The unknown will always be there, but you can choose how to face it. Instead of fearing it, step into it. Let go of the need to control every outcome and trust in your ability to adapt. Challenges will come, unexpected twists and turns, but with each one, you grow stronger. By embracing the unknown, you learn that you don't need to know what's next. You only need to trust yourself. Sixth, the power of enough. We're always told to strive for more. More success, more happiness, more of everything. But this constant striving leaves us perpetually unsatisfied, always feeling that we're not enough. What if, instead of more, we embrace the concept of enough? Seneca wisely noted, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor." Minimalism and Stoicism teach us that happiness doesn't come from endless accumulation, but from recognizing when we have enough. To live with less is to understand the power of sufficiency. It's about realizing that you don't need more to be happy, fulfilled, or successful. You already have enough. This shift is profound because it changes the way you see the world. Instead of constantly seeking, you begin to appreciate what's already in front of you. This doesn't mean you stop growing or improving, but that your growth is no longer driven by lack. It's driven by purpose. When you stop chasing more, you make space for what truly matters: relationships, experiences, inner peace. The power of enough is the power of freedom. It allows you to live fully in the present, unburdened by the endless pursuit of what you don't have. And in that freedom, you discover the deepest form of wealth. In the relentless pursuit of more, we've discovered that the real power lies not in accumulation, but in embracing less. By shedding the excess, whether it's possessions, distractions, or expectations, we uncover a profound sense of clarity and freedom. This journey reveals that true wealth comes from simplicity and intentional living. As you start to embrace this path, consider what other transformations might await you. Dive deeper into the world of minimalist and Stoic wisdom, and let each lesson guide you further into a life of purpose. If this resonated with you, please like, subscribe, and explore our other videos to continue this journey.